This isn't something that you get into because you want to have a career or because you think you're going to be famous or you want to make money. It's got to be something that burns in your heart. And I think that's part of the problem with journalism schools today, especially with the state of the economy, especially with the state of the newspaper industry and the way that sustainable journalism is really kind of in a crisis right now, is that you have to be willing. It's almost like being a Catholic worker in a sense. You have to kind of be willing to take a voluntary vow of poverty or something in order to actually get real journalistic experience. I think I made like $14,000 a year for the first 8 years I was in journalism, if I was lucky. You know, only the past few years have I been able to get health care. It's not something that you're really going to make ends meet. And yeah, I accidentally wrote a book that became, you know, like a thing in the mainstream world in some way, although no newspaper ever reviewed it to this day. No major newspaper. The Times didn't review it. They mentioned it because it was so unusual for a book produced by an independent publisher to debut in the top 10 on the New York Times bestseller list. So they had to write about it because it showed the power of independent media and a non-corporate agenda of an independent publisher, but they wouldn't review it in the actual book review, even though it made their top 10 list. Although I mean, Glenn Beck makes their top 10 list easily. He just dominates #1 anytime he writes whatever lies he writes. So I'm telling this whole story because it seems appropriate in a place like this, where the sanctuary, where it's all about community media. It's all about trying to capture that fire that is the desire to be a rebel journalist or to be an independent journalist or to do the simple thing that should be viewed as a trade, not as a career. And that is trying to provide people with actionable intelligence, to co-opt the term from the dark world of the CIA, but intelligence or information that can be translated into action, so that people are informed and can make decisions on how they want to translate their own emotions or their feelings or their beliefs into something that's going to contribute to building a better society. And the goal of independent media actually should be quite simple. You want to provide people with accessible information. You want to provide people with an opportunity to hear the voices of those who live on the other side of the barrel of the gun, that is U.S. foreign policy or domestic policy. But you also want to hold those in power accountable. Those are the three fundamental tenets of independent media. And I think that the best places to learn that are places like community media outlets, cable access television. People make fun of it, but if we don't defend it, we lose it, and the airwaves are public. And places like this, the sanctuary. So it's an honor to be here.